right. Questions?
No.
Kenny, you're
Okay.
up.
Usually me, whenever any teacher asks any questions, I'm the only one that ever responds in class. You always make fun of me for this.
I do.
No.
Now.
Ready to rock?
Yeah.
All right.
Chytrid fungus.
There you go.
Next.
There's no thesis.
Oh, okay. So it affects all amphibians that aren't, some are resistant to it, but most aren't. 90 species of amphibians have already gone extinct because of Chytrid fungus. Their disease, not all of them can necessarily be like directly linked to it, but like it's highly suspected that that's why they went extinct. And 124 more species of amphibians have already declined by 90% more in their population, so they're at severe risk for extinction. Some species, such as the American bullfrog, are resistant to it, but then that means that they just harbor it and can spread it to other species then. Generally, frogs are the most vulnerable. It's thought to be the disease to have caused the most significant loss of biodiversity in history. So like, because it can affect so many different species and it's so deadly and it spreads so easily, it just really quickly causes extinctions and dies. Yeah.
So if a bullfrog harbors it, right?
Yes.
Do they have to come in direct contact with other amphibians,
No.
or does it like in the water?
Yeah, so it can be transmitted by touch. It can live outside the host. I have it on here somewhere for like days.
Probably feces, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly water, and then it can also be like if like a person touches a frog that's infected and then touches a frog. Yeah.
Okay.
So it degrades the permeable skin of amphibians so that they can no longer regulate what enters their body. So, you know, frogs, like when you touch them, like the oils on your skin like go into them. So they obviously need their skin to be like healthy. So when it's like damaged, they can't osmoregulate properly, they can't breathe properly, and all sorts of crap like gets into them. And because of that, it has a 55.2% mortality rate. Severe infections commonly lead to death. Some symptoms are anorexia, lethargy, excessive shedding, red skin, convulsions, lake of writing reflex, and discoloration near the mouth. Amphibians that are not affected can act as reservoirs, as we talked about, and it can survive outside of a host for a long period of time. I didn't say how long there. But yeah, it can be contracted through touch or water, and it can live on other surfaces and in water for a long time. Yeah.
What do you mean by laser?
It's supposed to be lack.
Oh.
So like, if they get flipped over, they won't like fix themselves.
Make a writing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just typed it quickly.
Guys, what's a link to
What's
writing?
a make of writing? Yeah, that's.
Mine is 10 points.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Those all died.
It's
of
not
That's
funny, but
fungus.
it's funny.
It's actually kind of funny.
That was on like a mass dial event.
That's depressing.
Alright.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So that's an African cloud frog. It's thought that before modern pregnancy tests were available, various organisms were used as pregnancy tests. So urine from the woman who was thought to be pregnant would be collected and then injected into whatever animal they thought, yeah. So like in the case of the frogs, if the woman was pregnant, the hormones in the woman's urine would stimulate the frog to lay eggs.
What?
Yeah. And then, so yeah, one animal that was commonly used was the African cloud frog, which are carriers for the Chytrid fungus. They don't actually come down with the disease. And it's still commonly scientifically tested on. It's a very common animal for scientists to like keep in their labs and do little experiments on. Yeah. So many African cloud frogs were imported, and they brought with them the Chytrid fungus, which is originally from Africa, because yeah. This theory has been questioned, and it applies mainly to Europe. There's like a specific scientist who they think brought the Chytrid fungus from Africa to Europe through his tests, but the true cause is not fully known, but this is thought to be one of the ways. The exotic pet trade back then and now still very well could have caused it, because people will get a frog, not know it's infected, or just not care, and then release it into the wild, and it'll just spread all of its fungus, even though it's not native. Yeah. So this map shows, so BD is a specific strain of the fungus. But yeah, you can see these dots are all places where, the red dots are all places where it's been found. And obviously Africa is the only place where it originally was. And now you can see all this. And you can see this is 2014 and this is 2019, how much it's spread like in North America in just those 5 years. And South America, a lot there. And yeah, this is just a different one showing in 2012 all the different spots that it found.
So it's
Yeah. It's become common in the northwest of Canada and the west of the US. It's not supposed to be here, but it's become prevalent. The mountain yellow leg frog, which lives in the Sierra Nevada mountains in California, has suffered greatly. They used to be very common and their population has severely declined, and it's thought to be due to Chytrid fungus. There have been no extinction or mass outbreaks that have occurred that are like statistically proven and supported by data, but there's been a slow die-off of salamanders and frogs in the US that could be due to an undiscovered strain of Chytrid fungus. And all amphibian species besides those that are resistant are vulnerable to mass dive events if a new strain develops or something happens. And the warming climate could lead to an expansion in the range of Chytrid fungus. It's already thought that it might have, the warming climate may be the reason that it's spread as far as it has already. It could have been avoided altogether if the frogs were not imported or their health had been monitored, obviously. Regulations in the pet trade to just make it so that wild caught animals from other places can't be brought in with diseases. Take care not to transfer it to the disease if contact could have possibly been made with the pathogen. Clean clothing worn into swampy areas. That's like, if you're like going out catching frogs or just like walking off trail places, you should probably wash your boots, your pants, whatever, to make sure that you're not bringing it back wherever. And that's true for like all invasive species too. And don't release captive amphibians, don't release any non-native animals into the wild for Chytrid fungus, and also just for other reasons. And report any signs of Chytrid fungus that you do see to the DEC. And then this is a repeat slide. Repeat point.
And really, I mean, isn't it simply good practice just as much as we might want to pick them up?
Yeah.
We just
Yeah, that's it.
One question. I have a question.
Oh.
What are the signs of Chytrid fungus look like?
Oh, go back.
Oh,
Can you go?
they're dead.
They're dead. They're
Yeah.
dead. They're dead. Yeah. Yeah. So, excessive shedding, red skin, convulsions.
Leg
So,
Leg
so
over.
only if they're like already infected.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no like physical signs of the fungus itself.
No, it's like an interior like ingestion thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you standing?
Because someone knocked the table that was propping up my phone, and I had to fix it. And then
Was
then
that
I was
me?
gonna-
Okay.
No, it was-
Is that it? Okay. Wyatt.
All right, nice to meet you.
Yeah.